Hello, everybody. Hope you guys are good. Hope you are having a fantastic day or night, no matter where you are. Okay, sorry for pushing the live back, but I had some stuff that I was watching and looking into, trying to get everything ready for this live. So, as some of you know, we have been covering like the JLR stuff and Magnolia and what's going on with them. So, if you haven't seen any of our past videos, make sure you go and check them out after this live. Um, but yeah, so there's some new information that has come out. Well, let me just start by saying this. Everything that I say is my opinion based off of the research I have done and my perception of it. Think for yourself, do your own research, form your own opinion. With that being said, everything is also alleged and everyone is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Just want to put that out there. Okay, so there has been a lot of talk. The internet is straight up divided. The internet is divided on JLR and Magnolia. And for those of you who don't know, recently allegations have come out against JLR from his ex-girlfriend. Many of you know her as Magnolia, alleging domestic violence. And she has come out with the court order. She didn't come out with it. The court order came to light. The police statements came to light. She did, in fact, go to the hospital. So all of that is documented. JLR has not publicly responded to this. He has said, he cannot speak on it publicly. Okay. So the internet's divided because she has a past of lying. Well, she had lied and made up something about about a senator. Okay. She had lied and made something up about him. So everybody that's on JLR's side is immediately attacking her for that and said she cannot be trusted. This is nonsense. This wouldn't be the first time she's falsely accused a man of something. And then you have people that are on her side going, well, he's a convict. He's a convicted felon. He's done this, that, and the third. And we've covered all of that. We have not covered the actual story of what happened when Magnolia did this to this senator. Okay. So just so everybody knows, it's not like she woke up one day and said, I'm just going to falsely accuse a man of, assaulting me when I was a teenager. It's not like that's how it happened. So I think a lot of people just heard the story and heard what happened and didn't actually look into the story. But it's two totally different things. What she has done, what he has done. But here you go. So a lot of people are like, well, I don't believe her because of her past, because she has lied. And the same thing. A lot of people don't believe JLR because of his past and he's a con man and this, that, and the other. But it's funny because people that are on JLR's side say, well, you can't judge him based off of his past. He's a changed man. People that are on her side saying, listen, you can't judge her based off her past. She's a changed person. So it is wild, you guys, but we are going to get right into it. So we're going to look at, first of all, the actual story of what actually happened when Magnolia accused this man and how it came about. Because like I said, she didn't just herself wake up one day and go, I'm going to do this. No, this was an undercover sting operation for a organization known as Project Veritas. Okay. It's still not right. It's still not right. I will not defend that. That's insane. But with that being said, I'll let you guys decide for yourselves. So before we get started, hey Selena, please do me a favor and hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. And be sure to click that notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. Okay. Oh, but first thing I want to talk about is an ex-girlfriend. We're talking pre-Magnolia. We're talking 2016, has come forward And she is speaking. She's coming out and she is speaking. I told you this would happen on Friday. It is Friday. She has come forward. She has sent in all the proof of who she was. There's pictures of her with JLR. They did date. In fact, she's not lying. She's not making that up. So exes are starting to come out of the woodwork. What does that mean for JLR? Well, to me, it just looks like a storm is coming. The storm is on its way. Because you know what happens? One will come out, then another will come out, then the next thing you know, you got all kinds of stuff coming out. Hello, everybody. Thank you guys so much for being here. Appreciate it. Okay. So apparently, and this I did not know, but apparently JLR was actually, and again, everything is alleged, and this is coming from the ex-girlfriend, Angela. Apparently JLR was actually in prison before the wire fraud. He did some time in jail before the wire fraud thing. Okay. Where he actually phoned in a BOMB threat to Westchester Mall years and years and years ago. He also made prank calls to the Wet Seal, the store in the mall, and he threatened to slit the necks, we'll say, of the women that worked there. They got an order of protection against him. He violated that order by calling them back at the store, and he went to jail for that. So he's got quite a past. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right. So let's jump right in. Let's take a look at. So, I mean, we've gone through JLR stuff. We've talked about his, all the crimes he's done. He's talked about him being a fraudster and a felon, and him being very, very untrustworthy as a person. He is very untrustworthy. He has no empathy. He does not care about other human beings. And that's all just my opinion. And she also claimed another thing. She also claimed that he has never, ever, ever had a job. Never, ever had a job. So she said when she met him, and she met him in 2016, again, there are pictures of them together. There is proof that they dated. They were in a relationship. She was actually with him after his wife, Naomi, was arrested and sent to jail for drugs. He ended up meeting her, and they met. They talked for a long time, and then but she said she could not be involved with him while he was married. She said, now I don't know how true this is, because again, this is coming from her, but apparently everything that she said, she sent in proof to the person that she's talking to. And she did show some of that on her phone. So, but she says that they are still married. He never got divorced from her. And she is an actual, Naomi, the girl we talked about and showed in the videos the other day, is actually a paranoid schizophrenic. So she had like a lot of issues. This Angela said that she found out that him and Naomi were still married, and she said she didn't want to, be with him while he was still married. But she then said that she hasn't heard, like, she's like, as far as I know, they never got divorced. So I don't know. I'm not stating that as fact. Again, that's just coming from her. But she did say that he's never, ever had a job. And that when she met him, he was on disability. And so, for whatever reason, might have something to do with the diagnosis that he was diagnosed with. But anyways, so we've talked a lot about him, but we've never actually covered her story, Magnolia's story. But there's more and more coming about JLR, like all the time, it seems like. So you might actually get another live from me either tonight, maybe tonight, like depends on how much info comes out. But interesting stuff. All right. So let's pull this up. Let's start here. The woman who tried to sting the Washington. Oh yeah, okay. Thought I was still muted. The woman who tried to sting the Washington Post. This was November 30th, 2017. That was the question circling my mind as I read the Washington Post story Tuesday morning about a woman who lied to the Post about Alabama Senate candidate Roy Moore and appeared to be tied to Project Veritas, a right-wing organization that attacks the news media, government, nonprofits, and others it perceives to be left of center via undercover sting operations. Where do I know her from? I kept glancing back at the woman's photo. It was blurry and from a distance, but I thought she looked familiar. I listened to part of the audio conversation between the Post reporter and the woman, and I knew I'd heard her distinctive voice somewhere before. Where do I know her from? I read the caption and her name struck a chord. I grabbed my phone off the desk, searched for her in my contacts, and there she was. Then I remembered. I had just moved across country. Wait a minute. This isn't the one. This is just saying that she met her. I'm sorry, this is not the one. This is the one just saying that she met her at this cocktail party for reporters and journalists. And Magnolia started asking her questions and, about being a journalist because that's what she wants to do or wants to be, whatever. I'm sorry. Let me get this one for you guys because this is the one that's the most important. I sent a few to myself earlier and I must have accidentally pulled up the wrong one. Sorry about that. Okay, here it is. This is the one I needed. All right. Oh, good Lord. Okay. Who is Jamie T. Phillips? Woman falsely claimed Rory Moore impregnated her. Jamie T. Phillips, a woman suspected of working for an organization that targets news media. She was impregnated as a teenager by embattled U.S. Senate candidate Roy Moore. Phillips contacted Post reporter Beth Reinhardt just hours after the newspaper published the first story detailing allegations of sexual misconduct against Moore, Alabama's Republican nominee for the Senate seat. Phillips apparently first contacted the newspaper using a fake name on an email account. The account, which included the phrase "Roll Tide," was listed under the name Lindsay James, according to a story published today by the Post. After Phillips provided her real name and agreed to meet with a reporter in Virginia, she claimed she was a child abuse survivor whose family moved a lot. According to the Post, she claimed that she lived in the Talladega area for one summer, attending a church youth group where she allegedly met Moore in 1992. She said they started a secret sexual relationship and she became pregnant, according to the Post. Phillips told the Post that Moore drove her to Mississippi to have an abortion after convincing her to end the pregnancy. The Moore campaign didn't comment for the Post story. Post reporters said they have spotted Phillips at the New York offices of PV, an organization that attempts to expose alleged media bias and discredit reporting. The organization's mission is to investigate and expose corruption, dishonesty, dealing, waste, fraud, and other misconduct in both public and private institutions in order to achieve a more ethical and transparent society. The organization facilitates undercover stings between reporters and people who use false stories and secret recording gear. Phillips told the Post she now lives in New York. Alice Kreitz, a Post researcher who was looking into Phillips' background, found a crowdfunding page on GoFundMe.com that used the name Jamie Phillips. I'm moving to New York. The May 29th Post stated, according to the newspaper, I've accepted a job to work in the conservative media movement to combat the lies and deceit of all the liberal MSM. I'll be using my skills as a researcher and fact checker to help our movement. I was laid off from my mortgage job a few months ago and came across the opportunity to change my career path. Just a couple of months earlier, PV posted on Facebook that it was hiring people to conduct the undercover stings. The Post reported that she claimed to work for NFM Lending in Westchester County, New York, but the company said a person named Jamie Phillips did not work there. The Post did not publish an article based on her unsubstantiated allegations. When Post reporters confronted her with inconsistencies in her story, she said that she was not working with any organization that targets journalists, the newspaper reported. James O'Keefe, the founder of PV, declined to answer the Post questions about her. An AL.com review of state and federal courts records in Alabama did not provide any additional information about Phillips. And that's what I said. I was trying to look into her earlier. Literally the only thing I could find, and I probably went back 20 pages. The only thing I could find on her was literally this story. That's it. I could not find anything else under her name. So now, when she was confronted by the paper, I have that. I'm going to pull that up because I haven't watched it yet.
Are you? Hi. Are you Jamie?
I literally just texted you.
Oh, okay.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
I found this place. I had to go down to PetSmart.
Yeah.
My dog's food.
Okay.
So I saw there was a Greek place nearby, and I couldn't resist.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Do you want to order food or anything, or do you have plans later?
I think I'm good.
Okay.
I think I'm okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Thank
wasn't
you.
sure if you wanted to do dinner or if you just.
Yeah. I
know tomorrow's Thanksgiving, so you probably have plans.
Yeah. So well, thank you so much for for meeting us and so are you? Remind me. Now Beth has told me a little bit about your conversations and your texting back and forth.
Yeah.
But I thought it was probably best just to sort of I want to hear your story and just start from the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, I did tell her like the outline and like just the general.
Yeah.
Things that happened along the way.
Right.
But I mean, so yesterday when I met her, I just I don't know, I didn't really feel that good about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was really nervous to go in the first place, and I left feeling even worse.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know if I still want to even go forward with it at this point.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's your decision. But I'm here. I'm interested to hear your story.
Yeah.
So let me just make sure I have your. It's Jamie.
Yeah, it's JAI M-E.
Okay. And it's the last name again. I just want to make sure. Phillips.
Yeah, just regular spelling.
Phillips. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, because when I left there yesterday, I was so anxious. Like, I almost had like an asthma attack in the middle of the meeting, and I don't even have asthma. I used to have asthma when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
and I started to get this like really bad anxiety just even like talking about everything. Because I don't know, it's like I told her stuff about my life, like growing up, and it was almost like it felt like she just like didn't care at all. Like it was like it felt like I was telling her a story about the grocery store, you know. So I don't know. I just felt really weird about it, and I'm just not sure. I mean, maybe it's not the right fit with the Washington Post. I don't know.
Well, I'm, if you want, just, like I said, Beth told me a little bit about what you talked about. So if you want to just, I'm here to listen. So, if you want to just,
Well, I really don't like today. I mean, maybe like the next time we meet, we can like hash it out some more. But I mean, really today, I wanted to really hear more from you.
if you want to just,
Well, I really don't like today. I mean, maybe like the next time we meet, we can like hash it out some more. But I mean, really today, I wanted to really hear more from you in particular, like about like where you see the story going and what kind of an impact and things like that.
Yeah.
So because I just don't feel convinced yet that it's even the right thing for me to do.
Right. Well, I guess the first step really is just for me to hear what you have to say, Jamie. So that's that's usually how that's the first step.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
Do you mind going through it again?
Yeah, I mean, it's like what I told her. I basically just told her, like that the situation happened during the summer when I was 15. So it was like off and on.
Now, remind me your this is summer when you were 15, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, go on.
What's that?
Go on, I'm sorry.
Oh, I just met him and we would meet up from time to time. And it was actually like I went along with it. So until, I don't know, the end, it just got really bad. So I had to kind of like put it behind me. So she was telling me a lot about like the process and the background and the fact checking, and that stuff's not really. I'm really not like that. Doesn't even really bother me. Like that's not even really a concern to me. My biggest concern is like coming forward for no reason and having my name published, and then having it be for no reason. So
yeah,
that's really all I care about. I mean, I don't really care about the others, like the background check and things like that. It doesn't really like bother me. It's just like putting my name out there, being published, and then having it be for no reason.
Yeah. Well, it's really it's your decision, and
yeah. Well, I mean, I just have seen like what's happening with these other women, and that's because nothing's happening with this guy. It's like I mean, every day, like even today, I saw this morning on the news that Trump, like, literally endorsed this guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So my whole thing is like, I want him to be completely taken out of the race,
Mm-hmm.
and I really expected that was going to happen,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's not.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that the starting point really is to hear your story. So maybe if we could just, if you want to go through some of that again. You said this happened this summer when you were 15. Is that right? And then where were you living?
I was living in Mississippi, but I went to stay with my aunt in the summertime because my parents were we were in limbo at that time, in between where we were going to live. So
Mm-hmm.
I had to stay with my aunt a lot of the summer because my parents were traveling and
Mm-hmm.
visiting other places where we were going to move.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm. And where did your aunt live?
in the Talladega area.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So we just did a lot of like youth group type stuff over the summer. Like I grew up going to like church camps and all that kind of stuff, like
Uh-huh.
taking church trips and all that kind of stuff. So
Uh-huh.
we did a lot of that over the summer.
Uh-huh.
Like her voice does not sound like it has changed at all from the 911 dispatch calls that we just had until this was done in 2017. Like she sounds exactly the same. Like she's speaking the same exact way. It's kind of bizarre.
And so how do you remember meeting the person that you think was
Just at the church.
And keep in mind, no, I'm not, listen, there's enough evidence. Like they must have evidence. The doctors have seen her, the nurse has seen her, the cops have seen her. They thought she needed medical attention. She went and you know what I mean? So there's plenty of things that can point to the fact that yes, something happened to her that night when they got into the argument and she was hurt. There's stuff that she has that says that's true. But remember, as you're listening to this, she's making this all up. None of this is real. She's completely making this story up.
The Baptist church near Gadsden.
which church?
It's a Baptist church.
Do you remember the name of it?
I don't. I just remember it was a Baptist church because my dad didn't like it.
Uh-huh.
Because our church wasn't Baptist. Ours was Church of God.
Uh-huh.
So they kind of like, I don't know, he didn't like Baptist churches, but that was where my aunt went, so
Uh-huh.
that's where we went.
And so what happened then? So you're at church, you say?
I met him. I mean, he just was around. Like, I don't remember the exact moment that I met him because, you meet people at church all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So he would just kind of like, at first, just kind of like be really affectionate towards me and things like that.
Uh-huh.
So, and it just kind of like went on from there. But I mean, like, I'm just not really comfortable getting into all the details.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Because I still just don't know if I want to even do the story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like these other women are just like being discredited.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like people aren't believing them and all that stuff. And I just don't want to go through that again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Well, what I can tell you is that one thing that we always do as a starting point, and any good reporter would do this. It's just a standard operating procedure, is that we like to basically know who we're talking to, and and document that.
yeah.
And so kind of that, there are different ways to do it. And one of the kind of easiest ways to do it is just to see something like a driver's license. Do you happen to have an ID like that?
Yeah, I do. In my
Okay.
pocket, actually.
Okay.
That's my Georgia.
Do you mind if it's just easier to take a picture. Do you mind if I? Okay. 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 Thank you. It says Jamie Tennille Phillips. It says. Okay. Georgia. Okay. Well, and as part of also sort of our research process, and we have, as Beth explained, we have a process of doing background, checking backgrounds and this kind of thing. And so so I wanted to ask you about one thing, and let's see if this is it. So we're just doing sort of a background check, and we came across this. This is a GoFundMe page, which has your name on it, Jamie Phillips.
Yeah.
And it has also, let's see, where was that? It lists somewhere a donation from the person that you said was your child, Taylor. And it says that that you're moving to New York, and that you've accepted a job to work in the conservative media movement to combat the lies and deceit of the liberal MSM. I'll be using my skills as a researcher and fact checker to help our movement. So I just wanted to ask you if you could explain this. And I also wanted to let you know, Jamie, that this is being recorded and video recorded.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking to take a job last summer in New York, but it fell through. So I ended up not taking the job.
Okay. So, but you were interested in doing this job. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it was going to be with the Daily Caller.
The Daily Caller.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it didn't. It ended up falling through, so I wasn't able to do it. Because my fiance was relocating to New York, so I was looking for a job to go with him. And it didn't work out, so I ended up just staying doing what I was doing.
And what was your interest in working for the Daily Caller?
I like their stories, and I thought that I would be good at doing research and stuff like that. Because just based on my background with the mortgage business, like that's pretty much all I do all day is like research things. So
Yeah.
But it didn't plan out for me. So.
Yeah. So okay. So you tried to get the job, but you didn't get the job. You're saying.
No, I went through the interview process and I thought that it was going to go well. Like I had a good feeling about it, but then like at the last minute, I didn't get the job. So.
Okay. And so who was the person that you interviewed with?
It was a lady named Kathy.
What was her last name?
Johnson.
Kathy Johnson. And where was it?
In the New York area. But I don't know like why we are going into all this yet. Well, I haven't even agreed to go through with the story yet.
Yeah. So, well, since you contacted us, you reached out to us. We went ahead and did some background information, background checking, you know what I mean, on some
Yeah.
of the things that you had told Beth about your
Yeah.
story. And so this came up. And so I just want to understand what that's about and why you would want to work for the Daily Caller. And I'm also, frankly, want to know if you're who you might be working for now.
I still do mortgage work.
Well, it's a little bit of a issue there, and I just want to ask you to explain it, because when we called the company that you said that you worked for, they said they didn't have that you didn't work there.
Did you talk to the corporate office?
Beth made the phone call, and I know that she said that they didn't have an employee by your name there,
Yeah.
Jamie.
I'm not sure which office you called, because there's a whole bunch all over the country.
Uh-huh.
So.
Okay. So, again, I want you to know that this is being recorded and video recorded. So if there's anything you want to say about why you're here and how you came to be sitting here, I really would like to know that story as well.
I mean,
we're planning to write a story about this, so this would probably be a good opportunity if you want to explain a little bit more and about all this.
I mean, I really don't. I mean, I told you already that I wasn't even sure that I wanted to go through with the story at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think I probably just want to cancel and not go through with it at this point.
Okay. And do you want to explain any more about how it was that how you came to call us and?
No, I just saw an article I saw that article that was posted, and that's how I reached out to Beth.
Uh-huh. And are you in contact with other people? Are you in contact with the Roy Moore campaign or Steve Bannon or Breitbart or?
Not at all.
Uh-huh. So do you still have an interest in, as this says, combating the lies and deceit of the liberal MSM? Do you still have an interest in working in the conservative media movement to combat the lies and deceit of the liberal MSM? Is that still your interest?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Not at this point.
No.
No.
So if you're not working for that mortgage company, where are you working?
I work for one of the branches. I don't work
for one of the
corporate office.
And what's the franchise?
It's a
You said a friend?
A brand, yeah.
A branch. Maverick?
Yeah.
And where is that?
It was out of Atlanta.
It was out of Atlanta? And
they allow us to work remotely.
Uh-huh. And so
I don't really want to get into any more details about my life because it's like obvious that you're like not believing me, so I don't really see the point of even continuing the meeting.
Yeah.
So I probably should just like cancel the whole thing.
Okay.
My life because it's a
you said a friend?
A brand, yeah.
A brand. Maverick?
Yeah.
And where is that?
It was out of Atlanta.
It was out of Atlanta? And
they allow us to work remotely.
And so
I don't really want to get into any more details about my life because it's like obvious that you're like not believing me, so I don't really see the point of even continuing the meeting.
Yeah.
So I probably should just like cancel the whole thing.
Okay. Okay. Well, if there's anything, if there's anything you want to say for the record, we're, like I said, we're planning to write a story. Your name will be, probably could be in the story. So if you want to explain, this is your chance to explain.
Story.
Well, we're all on the record, as I said,
But I
and
didn't
this
agree
is,
to go on the record.
and this is you, right. But this is your chance now, if you want to really explain this. I mean it.
I mean, there's nothing to explain.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I haven't agreed to go on the record at all with
Yeah.
the post.
Mhm.
So, I mean, I don't know what there is to talk about.
Mhm. Well, do you want to go over it anymore? You said you work. Where do you live now, by the way?
I'm not going to answer any more questions.
Okay.
I think I'm just going to go.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Sorry to have brought you all the way out here.
Okay. Am I being recorded?
No.
Again, Jamie, in all seriousness, if you want to say anything else about how it is that you came to be sitting here,
No.
really, I mean, you're welcome to do so. You have my number. I'm interested in hearing about it.
Okay, well, that's wild, I can say. The one thing I will say is that her voice and her tone, the tone that she had is this, I mean, it did not change. It did not change from 2017 to that phone call, to the dispatch phone calls that we heard. Right? It sounded exactly the same monotone, same everything. I mean, that's bizarre. But as soon as the lady started questioning her and saying, well, look, we saw this, we found this, of course, we're going in the background check. She was like, whoa, no, I'm pulling the story. I don't want to do this anymore. So that's the actual story. But with that being said, Project Veritas, apparently, because I had to look at that too, they do have people, they do have journalists and whatever you want to call them, go undercover with fake backstories and try to investigate and get into, these types of things. So it does happen. That's apparently it. She wouldn't be the first person that has done this, but with all that being said, it very well raises alarms and it raises flags with people, because you have JLR, who has a history, and he'll straight up tell you he has a history of lying, conning, deceiving, manipulating. She also has a history of lying, manipulating, and trying to con. So, which is exactly what we just saw here. Now, with all that being said, listen, they both have shady pasts. That's 100. They both do. But does that mean she's lying? And you have to take into account also that it wasn't just her. It was the manager at the All Seasons Inn where they were staying that also said that there was a domestic violence dispute there that happened. He was on the phone on the recording. You have the cops who wrote the statement that said she had, bruising on her nose, or a red mark on her nose. She had bruising. You have them thinking she needed to go to get medical attention, so she went to the hospital. So and you have whatever the hospital, the doctors documented when she was there. The police also claim that they have pictures of what she looked like that day. So it's very hard to say, because JLR has, like I said, has not come out and publicly spoke about this. But I can see why people are so hesitant. I can see why people are questioning her character as well as his. But again, just because somebody has a questionable character doesn't mean they were not, doesn't mean that she's lying, doesn't mean that she's lying and she's making this up. I mean, we don't know personally because none of us were there. But I don't know. It was super weird hearing her voice on this video we just watched, because it literally sounded exactly the same as it did in the 911 calls. The tone, the way she spoke, like everything. It was kind of bizarre, I'm not gonna lie. Now again, this is the only thing I could find on her, and I went back pretty far, and I could not find anything else on this chick. So if this is the only, thing that she has got in her past, JLR has got her beat times 20. And that's just what it is. So if you want to judge off pasts, you can do that. But just remember that JLR's past is way more cluttered than hers is, as far as I could tell, as far as I could find. And I couldn't, like I said, I looked and looked and looked and looked, and literally this story is the only story that kept popping up. And I was like, what the hell? What the hell did she do before this? What did she do after this? Like, it's crazy. I know, it's weird. It's almost like that's how they found each other. Like, I know it's crazy. I was thinking the same exact thing. But I believe, I believe it probably was a very toxic relationship. When you have two people who, can't make it through the day without making a lie or telling, oh my God, I just totally lost my train of thought. Just went. Phew. But when you have two people that are in a relationship and both of them are like very untrustworthy, and both of them are like shady, and both of them are very capable of doing harm to each other, it probably made for a very toxic relationship. Let's just say that. Basically, her job was to discredit media outlets by getting them to put out fake stories, which is exactly what JLR did by posing. Absolutely. I agree 100%. Like, that's probably how they found each other. Not going to lie. But again, doesn't mean the DV didn't happen. That doesn't mean anything, and it kind of sucks because you always go back to like the story of the boy who cried wolf. You cried wolf so many times and people came running every time. But then when you finally, the last time you cried wolf, nobody came, nobody believed you because you'd already lied so much in your past. And unfortunately, I feel like, yeah, that's a thing to note in this whole saga, because both of them have done things. But again, his past is way more convoluted than her past. I imagine so. That's what I'm saying. I imagine there has to be some type, because she went to the hospital that day. She went and got medical attention. So I'm sure there's hospital reports. There has to be. Now, whether or not, absolutely. And that's my point. That's why I did this today, is because I was like, people keep talking about this and talking about this and talking about this one thing she did. And like I said, I had not seen that. I had just heard about the story. I had not seen this video. But yeah, just because, they're both shady. If you want to be completely honest, both are shady people. Both have done and deceived and faked and lied. They both have. Him way more than her, as far as I know, as far as I found. Just say that. But they both have. But again, that doesn't mean that the domestic violence didn't happen. That doesn't mean, especially when you have Angela. Let me get this off the screen. Now you have Angela coming out, who dated JLR in 2016. Saying, yeah, she's like, listen, he's a really bad guy. He has a very bad temper. She did not say that he hit her. She goes, he didn't hit me, but he flips out. He's very angry. He's like, And who knows what could happen from 2016 to now. Things escalate. People get, you know, especially if you're supposed to be on meds and you're not on meds, and you're all over the place. Like, we don't know. But we do have Angela coming out against JLR saying all of these kinds of crazy things. I mean, but how do I say this without sounding well, so you got him coming out. Then there's another person, this other lady who wants to be anonymous, that also claims to have dated JLR and does not have anything nice to say about him. And so, like I said, more and more people are coming out of this, of the woodwork. And I'm going to really try. I don't know how late you guys are up. I don't know how late my audience is up, but I want to try to do another live some point tonight, or like first thing in the morning. So we'll see which works out, but definitely keep an eye out. All right, let's move on. Let me pull this up. What do you guys think? Those of you that are in here right now, what do you think after seeing that video? And also those of you that are watching this on replay, what do you guys think? Gotta get into my X here real quick. Okay, let me go into here. Okay, Joni. Thank you. Okay, I wanted to play this real quick. Hold on. Share this with you guys. Absolutely not. Don't trust either of them, but who knows what happened at Xmas. Right. Debbie, I'm with you there. It does not. Absolutely, it does not. Listen, first of all, nothing excuses or, you know, nothing she did. I say nothing anybody does, you know, like, deserves for that to happen. No woman deserves to be abused. Absolutely not. Okay. Now this video was done by Checkmate. I believe it was 2 years ago, but it's about Bullhorn, everything Bullhorn Betty had to say about JLR, that now she's trying to backwalk. And let me do this.
In league with the histrionics and theatrics of the one and only Lana Oriani from Truth and Transparency. I'll show you some highlights in a moment, but since you might wonder why my title only gives her 80% credit toward full Oriani status, is for one main reason. And I'm going to just get this out of the way right here. For all of her Oriani-like antics.
And I love triggering you. And I'm going to continue to do it until you get the message.
One thing Bullhorn Betty does not do is vulgarize and pornographize every single thing that comes into her field of vision. Are just as gross, though. starting with her driving need to use her channel as a weapon of retaliation to dish dirt against former YouTube friends. In front of Gabby Petito's house to do something they called protesting, but the rest of the world called harassing true crime families.
You know more, and you're lying. You've been deceiving law enforcement. You've been putting their life in jeopardy. For what? For your murderous son?
That was in the summer of 2021. Since that time, Bullhorn Betty and JLR have appeared in multiple videos together, and apparently they were friends before that, political friends. And since the time of Gabby Petito's case, they were part of a loosely and briefly connected group of YouTubers called Heels on the Ground, which no longer exists. Tragedy pimp observers have sensed a division between Bullhorn Betty and JLR as of late, but Betty took out she made a number of extremely troubling accusations, and I've collated all of these accusations into one clip reel so you can see them all in one quick setting right here. I'm not including all the gossip and salacious conjecture and, all the salty, other female talk. I'm including just the allegations that I think push the boundaries of moral and ethical and potentially tortious behavior. I'll see you on the other side for my reactions.
Because he's a felon, he's still on felony probation, and he's doing a lot of damage behind the scenes, not only to me, but to other people to keep his secrets hushed. And I'm done. I'm not going to be playing these games. Aunt Mary is not Aunt Mary. Aunt Mary is his sugar mama, and she lives in Georgia. He sneaks off with her out in the woods. I'm not going to allege what they're doing, but they go to a cabin several times a year, and that's the house he's living in, okay? He does not own that home. That is the house that his sugar mama put him up in. He's got to keep that flame going because, let's face it, he's on disability. He has no money except what he makes on YouTube. So as far as I'm concerned, it's about $25,000. Definitely far cry from $3 million. One of his ex-girlfriends he beat. He trolled somebody in 2016. We'll call this the Moore case. And that person ended up taking their life. And then it brought me back to a situation of Betty Keys. And I remember this firsthand. This is firsthand knowledge from me. Now, I don't know if this chick Betty Keys was referring to really did lose her life or not. I don't know. I have no earthly idea. Okay. If he could have been teaching JLR a lesson for all I know. She may be very well alive. I don't know. Okay. JLR was very upset about. He seemed very nervous. And he came to me and he's like, do you really think BK did that or is being truthful? And I went back and looked at the video and I said, yeah, I kind of do. Well, Jonathan told me that he had been trolling that woman really hard. But I do want to get to the bottom of whether these people lost their life at the hands of JLR or not. The trolling to death that I have a problem with. And I feel it's, and this is exactly why it is illegal in all 50 states and a felony at that, because this is the result of it. There is possibly 2 people that have lost their life by being harassed. And I want to know whether JLR was responsible because I'm hearing he is. I truly believe that he was trying to push me over the edge as well. If you really want to know the truth about it. He's a very strategic man and he did a lot of stuff behind the scenes to me that people don't understand. I'm prepared to keep to myself any longer, and it's not something that I'm prepared to keep quiet. I want law enforcement to look into this to find out if there's any water to it. Because I swear to God, if people have lost their life at the hands of JLR, that's not a good thing. And again, he pushed the issue when he tried to take my channel. So he only has himself to blame for becoming public. I would have kept this quiet, JLR, and let law enforcement deal with it. I surely would have, but not when my channel's down for 7 days, right before Christmas. They're all to keep your stupid secret. Now you're financially hurting me to keep your secret. I didn't start this, you did.
Now, if Oriani was saying all these things about JLR, she'd be talking about how much sex he had with these women, how big his penis is, what kind of. The Bullhorn better have him dead to rights on proof. Because if she doesn't, I smell a justifiable lawsuit. Think about what you're saying when you say any of that. Children are probably watching you. You have no idea who's watching you. Or people with childlike brains who can't process this information like adults. And you're telling these people that it's.
The more I look into the streamers, like real life on the boots on the ground, like these people, like I literally think it's a different breed. You are a different breed of whack job. For real. Like it's crazy. You got freaking Dad's Gone Live, who has made it, way bigger than he was thanks to JLR. So he refuses to say a bad word about the guy. Actually says that what he's being accused of is not that big a deal. Well, I think that's wrong. I think domestic violence is a huge deal and everybody should care. Just my opinion. Then you got the other guy, the freaking the 857 guy, Tucson, who's going into a restaurant live streaming. They ask him to stop. He flips out. And then all of his followers, which by the way, he's gotten a lot of from JLR, all of his followers are bombarding that restaurant with calls and bad reviews. All because they told this guy, listen, you can't live stream in here. And he is not doing nothing about it, which is absolutely crazy. And then you got the other guy, the criminal network guy, who's on a stream with putting freaking blackface on, running scanner calls and making jokes. And I'm like, these are the people that are literally have taken the responsibility of reporting what's going on from Nancy's house. Like, it's crazy. I'm just gonna say that it seems like you gotta be a different kind of breed. Got a warning. Yeah, yep. So JLR did put out a couple of tweets yesterday saying that, which I'll pull them up, saying that he was gonna start suing YouTubers.
Can't let go. And anybody out there, and I just want to say this, any female or male out there that is going through the same thing right now currently, get away. Be brave, break those chains, surround yourself with good people.
He's talking about domestic violence, by the way.
Get away, get far away. You know, no one should go through any of this. Nobody should be subjected to this at anybody, whether you're a female or male. And go both ways. We say no to this type of behavior. We say no to stalking. We say no to harassment, you know? And it's just, I'm just shocked to the core. This dude literally should be behind bars. Do we agree? Can we get an amen? Can we get an amen? You know how he says in church, can we get an amen? Amen? Yes. This dude, John Paul Miller, belongs behind bars. Can we get an amen? Yeah, see, got a lot of amens in the chat. That's pretty cool. You got
No? Oh. Oh yeah, here's that clip. Here, let's play that.
The allegations against JLR, I hate to say this, is very small compared to the allegation, the crimes that these other people were convicted for. Guys that did 30 years in prison for murder.
Well, like I said, they're here, you know, they got saying the allegations against JLR are minimal. They're so small. I wouldn't look at, I'd say domestic violence is a huge problem in society and in the world. So to say that it's small is crazy. And to refuse to, well, no, I shouldn't say that, because a lot of people haven't said a word because they're like, I'm trying to just wait. Like, what if she's lying? What if it's not true? What if? And I can understand wanting to protect yourself in those means, but it's like, if you were talking about somebody else, if this was another case and they were accused of domestic violence, I guarantee you none of these people would have a problem talking about it, even though those that were accused had not been charged, if you guys are picking up my drift. But because this guy got huge off of JLR and his people, he's going to stick up for JLR. He's going to say it's not that big a deal, whatever. That's whatever. To each their own, I guess.
The allegations against JLR, I hate to say this, is very small compared to the allegation, the crimes that these other people were convicted for. Guys that did 30 years in prison for murder, killers, crazy things. But as far as I'm concerned, like, that's bad. But man, let JLR go through his thing. The allegation.
Yeah, so you know what? If that's how you look at things, it is what it is. Exactly. DV can lead to that. Exactly. If that was your daughter, if that was his daughter, we would be having a different conversation and he wouldn't be sitting there. But because he knows that more than most of his followers came from JLR's channel, he's not going to say anything because there they all go. So he's choosing I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cuss. He's choosing, money and viewership over standing up for what's right. And that's fine. A lot of people do that. There are a lot of people in the world that will go along with something, even though they know it's wrong, will go along with it just so that it doesn't affect themselves. Exactly. Well, you have to say allegedly because, again, this is not hit court. So we have to say allegedly. You have to be careful. You cannot, so yeah. And like I said, to each their own, everybody does, lives their own life, does their own thing. But I am not, that's just not something I could be. I don't care if I got all of my followers from you. If you turn out to be a lunatic who beats on his girlfriend, I'm not going to side with you. And you can take all your followers with you, because if those are the kind of people that they are and that's what they want to support, I don't need that shit in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I would be. Okay. Oh yeah, off subject, but this streamer's next. Jordan, sis. What? Yeah. He spilled a drink on his girlfriend. I got to make a video about this guy too. He spilled a drink on his computer, and then he was like rushing around because he didn't know he was still alive, and he was rushing around, and he punched his girlfriend twice on stream. They caught it on a live. And then afterwards, like, people were going after him for it. He forced her to go on there and say that he never hit her. So that's a whole nother thing. But DV is so, like, it's everywhere. And a lot of people, you would never know it. You could see these people. You could see this chick at work every day and work with her for 5 years and never know that every night when she gets home, it's hell. You just never know. It's so widespread like that. Yeah, so many people are afraid to speak up on this because of his followers, because crazy attracts crazy. And people are afraid to speak up on it. And that's why a lot of people won't say a word about it, because they're
hemmed and hawed over whether we would cover this or not. Because the last time I mentioned anything about Mr. Riches, I actually got pretty scary threats that were sent my way. Not from him, but from his, I guess, adherents, his followers, his subscribers, his viewers. He hemmed and
like that. What is wrong with people?
Well, that's what I was going to say earlier too. I think that there's some people that are like afraid to talk about this, because I've spoken when I did the first live on it. I spoke to a YouTuber texted me immediately, like a big YouTuber. Well, that's what I was going to say earlier too. I think that there's some people that are like afraid to talk about this.
Yeah. Well, all it takes for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing. So I don't want to be in that boat. Just saying. Oh yeah. And then there's this other one. I forgot to mention this guy. This Ted Investigates guy. That's also, you know, they're like doing the Nancy. Like I'm telling you, this Nancy case, I don't know what it was, but like every single one of these people has issues. This guy talks about how he fools people and scams people and like with an app. Like, check this out.
Wait. Can you pause this for a minute? I need to talk to Stax.
Listen to this.
No, it's good to hear. Yeah.
Stax, I can get, okay, so because I'm in sales, I can get Mike Tomlin on his cell phone. I can make it look like Mike Tomlin's calling you. Or actually, I don't have your number. So shit. But if I ever get your number, I can have like I could have like the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive lineman call you. I have an app that does that. So I could like literally have the quarterback coach. Well, I know he's not the coach anymore, Tomlin, but like McCarthy, I can have the quarterback coach call McCarthy and have McCarthy pick up. Like I've done that shit, just to let you know. So I'm always ready for a good prank. I'm going to have Justin Fields call you, Stax.
Like, I feel like if I've learned anything in the last, like the last week, it's been you cannot trust any of the people that you see. Like, it's kind of insane. Like every single one of them are total. I mean, it's crazy. You can't trust any of them. And that's crazy. Oh, good Lord. Okay. I mean, do you guys, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's wild. All right, hold on a second, guys. Hold on. I need to stay in my crafting court, right? Okay, hold on, guys. I want to scroll down and find this that I'm looking for. Hold on, where is it? Oh yeah. And the tweet that JLR put out that says, yes, no one on this planet has sued more people than me. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. Loses are still wins. I filed over 5,000 lawsuits in my lifetime, wrote a book on it. I am about to sue some YouTubers too. Yep. Well, good luck with that. Because I mean, there might be some he could go after. I have no idea. But we do know that there was a nationwide, like he has to get approval before he can actually sue anybody. And he has to prove that they are lying. And that's going to be a hard thing to do. That is going to be a hard thing to do. Oh my gosh, I got so much stuff on here. I'm sorry. I'm digging and looking. So, I mean, what do you got? Okay. Do me a favor, those of you that are in here. If you think that Magnolia is telling the truth, put a 1 in the chat. If you think she's lying, put a 2 in the chat. His ex-wife, or I don't know if they're ex-wife, but the woman he was married to, Naomi. Now, this was according to Angela, his ex-girlfriend. Him and Naomi met as part of a James Holmes friend group. Like James Holmes, yes, we know who that is. The shooter, we talked about him. JLR had like an obsession with him. Well, so did she. And they actually met in like this group that, and they called themselves homies because they were huge fans of James Holmes, and that's how they met. And they actually, yes, 3 is undecided. Thank you. I didn't get that far. And then they met and they actually got married. Now, again, this is all alleged. This is all alleged according to Angela, the ex-girlfriend. JLR and Naomi met and got married like within a week. Like within a week, they were married. She is, unfortunately, a paranoid schizophrenic. And he has his BPD, allegedly. But she ended up getting arrested for drugs. Like she has a sad story, but they're both nuts. They're both nuts. See, I believe he has deep-rooted issues. I believe his issues run deep. That's just my opinion. Yeah, I mean, when you're calling in bomb threats to malls, like there's something wrong with you. That's not funny. There's nothing funny about that. That wasn't funny in 1990, and it's not funny now. It's never been a funny thing. Like I always said, there's something wrong with people that do that. Like I remember being in school, and I remember somebody calling in as a prank, calling in a bomb threat to a school one time. Of course, they ended up getting in huge trouble for it. But that's not a funny thing to do. Like, what's wrong with you? But then calling a store and telling the 2 women who worked there that you were going to come and slit their, is totally crazy. Like, that's psychotic behavior. Okay, you got some issues for real. They were so scared and so threatened that they got an order of protection against him. He violated that order when he called them back and then had to go to jail for that. He's never had a real job. And again, this is all allegedly. He's never had a real job, never, been an active member of society. He's always been one on the outs, not for nothing, but you're kind of like, my gosh, he kind of fits in. Like you'd put him in like the Columbine, column, if you know what I'm saying. Oh, yes, I have to see that. But that's awful. That's sad. But anyways, so the bottom line is, Magnolia said she has to have some things to back up her story. Like I said, there's the police report. There's the protective order, which the judge gave her. There's a no contact order. There's the pictures that the police took. There's whatever the hospital has from her records from going in there that day. So there are things that she has on her side. On his side, he hasn't said anything, but he has people coming out of the woodwork from his past life and saying, listen, this guy's not a good guy. He's got anger issues. He's got this. He's got telling us all kinds of stuff. Yes, Stony. And I'm writing that down. Yes. Okay, got it. Thank you. He said he would kill her. Ugh. Okay. And just his past of what we know. And we've learned thus far. I wonder. That appeared. What are you talking about? So sheriff came by looking for JLR. Never heard why, but they wanted to talk to him. I wonder if it's got to do with those signs that appeared. Oh. Wait, you mean those signs that appeared at Nancy's? Because he still isn't. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't. Isn't he still in Florida? What, he was in Florida when those signs appeared. That, I mean, not that doesn't mean anything. He has people in the area. We know he still got his people covering her house and stuff. So yeah, not like it couldn't be. I'm just saying. Oh, sheriff came by there looking. I got you. Sheriff came by there looking for him. I gotcha. He is, but the signs appeared when he left. Oh, okay. I gotcha. But yeah, now with all this being said, now I believe obviously that something must have happened because exactly. I believe that something must have happened because of all that she has, right? All of everything I just named. They sent her to the hospital. They have the records. The police said what he said. You know, I can see all that. But just to lay everything out on the table and just to say, so people can't say I'm one-sided, there have been lots of people that when someone becomes successful, they want to come out of the woodworks and, you know, start attacking them or start saying this or that to bring them down. I just wanted to put that out there. But yeah, let's not forget that he took off. He took off and left her there. Okay. He took off. The police couldn't find him. He had actually left the state. I don't know if he is now. The lady was saying that he was on disability and getting food and getting EBT in 2016 when she met him. He was on disability living with his parents when she met him. That's what the lady said. Then she got an apartment in Philadelphia and he moved in with her because he obviously couldn't afford his own place, couldn't live on his own because he moved from the mom's into Angela's when they started dating. Oh yeah, for sure. He 100% enjoys everything he has done, everything to everybody. He has no shame, no remorse, no nothing for anything that he's done or anybody that he has hurt. In my opinion, he is a narcissist, and I'll just say it. I mean, I think he has shown signs of being a sociopath. But again, that's my opinion. I am not a doctor. I'm not a psychiatrist. Sociopaths do the same thing. They can portray many different faces and be many different people. You know what I'm saying? Not like multiple personality disorder where, you know, you got one guy who's Bob, Joe, Jake, and none of them know about each other. I mean, like he can just do that in an everyday setting. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Look at what he did to get his fame and success. Yes. I understand. Exactly. Oh, I can take this down now. Yes, he is very proud of the things he has done. Yes. Okay. So I don't want to keep this one going too long just because I got to get off. I got to finish what I'm doing. And then, I got to finish getting the rest of the information, and I'll see if I can get back on and get this other live done tonight. But if I do, trust me, you guys are not going to want to miss it. It's going to be filled with information. So you guys are not going to want to miss it. No real compassion. Absolutely not. Guys, please do me a favor. Please like this video, and please, when this live gets done, to help me stay in the algorithm, can you please come back and comment? I don't care what you comment. I don't care what it is. Just come back and comment for me to keep us going in that algorithm. Also share and hype this video. If you have any hype points, I'd greatly appreciate it. But if you have not seen my past content on this, make sure you go and check those out. There's lots of information out in there. And then I also want to ask you guys, if you guys want to help us and what we're going through, what my situation, if you guys want to help, it would be amazing and it would be so greatly appreciated. And you can do that through PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. And all those links are down in the description below. I'm going to end this one here. I hope to see you guys in a little while, but I will definitely let you guys know before I go live, whether it'll be a post or I'll put it up like a half hour before I start. So I'm going to end this one here. I love you guys. Stay strong, stay healthy, stay safe. Keep asking those hard questions. Keep spreading that light, and I will see you all next time. Oh, and if you guys happen to come across anything or find anything that you think I need to include, please don't hesitate to send that to me. You can follow me down on X, over on Instagram, or you can send it to my email. All right. Thank you guys, and I will see you all later. Have a good night, everybody.